sorry, microphone problems. Great start. It is kind of late, so
Technical difficulties.
but yes, Halloween 2018, most anticipated October movie this year for some of us, probably for a lot of people. If you have heard on this channel before, I did go into detail about the majority of this franchise with our buddy Russell, which you can go ahead and hear about that. But Mr. Knickers Chicken over here was not a part of that, so pretty much I would say just kind of give the folks your opinion about the Halloween franchise, and I'm going to stretch this, your opinion about what you feel about the Halloween franchise.
I mean, it's definitely legendary just because, he's one of the main, what you call slashers in horror history. I would say one of the main three, actually. The original definitely set the tone big time back in 1978.
Set the tropes.
Yeah, definitely a instant classic in my opinion. By far my favorite one, still to this day. You all just go watch it. I'm not going to go into detail about it because a lot of you have probably seen it. Then again, I don't know. But then everything after that was just like a blur to me. I don't know. It never clicked. I don't know if it was bad writing, bad whatever. It's hard to make horror movies good. I'm going to be honest with you. Like we've seen lately, but
yeah, we've had great, and then we had terrible.
There have been okay sequels, like I can't remember which one of the Rob Zombies I actually kind of liked.
I'm gonna guess the first.
Maybe I can't remember. But like I said, they're all jumbled together, and
those are the only ones that we didn't have time to cover in our Halloween discussion.
But like I said, I don't know. The original by far is the ringleader in my opinion, and Michael Myers is a crazy son of a bitch.
So where does Michael rank for you as far as horror icons?
He's probably.
I'm pretty sure I know what your number one is.
Yeah, it's not even close. But he's probably, I'd say, second. Just because he's a psycho. he's human too, which I think is really cool.
Well, I did actually find out something that was kind of established a little bit in this newest one, is that he mostly now can't technically go by Michael Myers because he'll go as the Shape.
Yeah, that's what he was in the credits.
Because technically he was Michael as a kid, but then when he becomes this force, he ceases to be Michael. He becomes the Shape. So.
And he's the face of evil, and I love his mask. His mask is hardcore iconic.
And that face of evil is a William Shatner mask.
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
made him really white.
Well, that's what you do when you don't have a lot of money. Real quick summary for me with the Halloween franchise is the first one is great. I rewatched it before seeing this because, as we then find out, this is a technical direct sequel just 40 years later. And what I really recognized is that as far as like what the slasher genre is and what it kind of like the symbol for it is really, which is a knife, Michael actually strangles way more than he stabs in the first one. He only stabs I think 3 people, and he injures Laurie towards the end. But the
knife is definitely the main weapon, but he finds other sources of torture, I should say. Whether it be strangling, or hammers or anything like that. Anything he can get his hands on, basically, he's just gonna fucking kill you with.
Yeah, but biggest problem with this whole franchise is that it's very convoluted and it gets a lot of different ideas thrown into some, or just rehashes the same thing over again. And when it does introduce a new idea, it doesn't explore it again. So it just gets very frustrating and not constantly rewatchable a lot of times.
Like I said, I wish they had so much opportunity to make it better. And I mean, I don't know how many there have ever been. Like what? How many Halloweens have there been now?
I want to guess 9.
Okay, so they had 9 opportunities, and
4 was technically just remaking the first one, just with a different cast and telling you that it was different.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't even remember which one's which because they were all jumbled together. I ended up earlier on. I bought the whole set, but since then I've taken care of that.
Well, I am one of the rarities that actually enjoys 3 because there's no Michael in it and it's a completely different thing. And it's actually what was their original idea for this whole Halloween franchise, which was the anthology. But everybody got pissed off that Michael wasn't in it, but he was in the second one. But that's because they needed money and they thought bringing Michael would bring in the bucks, and it did. But, so, yeah. Digress. So, Halloween 2018. Let's give our initial thoughts without spoilers, because this has now been out for a week, and we can kind of go into spoilers, because I don't think we can talk about some stuff.
This could lead to spoilage. Yeah, I think spoilers are fine at this point.
Yeah. So, what is the one word that you came out of this movie with about your feeling? And you saw it twice, technically.
Okay. One word. Shoot, that's hard. Inconsistent.
Yeah.
How about that? Then I'll tell you this before we even get into this. Mm-hmm. I liked it, seeing it better the first time than I did the second time. The second time I noticed a lot more. So I guess that's the point of you going to see it more than once, is you notice different things.
Mm-hmm. Mine would be disappointment. Because going into this, I had watched a bunch of interviews. The trailers, of course, came out and stuff. And I got really hyped up for it. And it starts off, pretty, okay. The absolute biggest positive I'm going to give this is Jamie Lee Curtis. She's amazing to me in this. She has some faults with some plans towards the end about how it goes about, but I don't think if she was in this, it would be as good.
Yeah, something to say about that, but I'll let you talk first.
I'm kind of losing my voice a little, so kind of
all right,
chime in with your thoughts.
So, she is great, I'm not going to lie, but I've seen a bunch of people say it, and actually I kind of more noticed this the second time I saw it. They made her the exact replica of Sarah Connor.
Yeah.
And I was so pissed off about that. And basically, obviously Michael's Terminator. So they made her, she has a lot of the cool training, she's training to be a badass, I get that. But damn, they made her she was over the years she had developed into a complete, what's the word I'm trying to find here? Badass bitch, I guess. I don't know what else to call her. Sure, she can learn a lot of stuff. I just wish she would have done a different way with it. But she was really good,
I mostly say that also because to me she had the strongest acting in this.
Yeah, well, that wasn't hard to single out because there's a lot of.
Because before we dive into the acting, the biggest thing for me is as far as disappointment, is the lack of atmosphere in this. Kind of just... Because since it's directed by David Gordon Green, who's done mostly comedies and dramas, to me it just didn't have really a dark feel or edge with it.
Completely agree.
Like that first PVA shot of Michael walking through and stuff, it starts to work, but since it's the same thing and the camera doesn't look much different with it, and the atmosphere around everything doesn't look much different, like it's kind of like a Bourne kind of feeling.
He's supposed to put fear into your eyes, and he's supposed to be a freaking menace. He's supposed to be scary, and I did not get that feeling in this movie. Sure, he had some cool kills. I will give him that, but not at any point of this movie, except when the one part where the lights turn off and he's just sitting there. That kind of creeped me out. But I'm just not going to single that out as something that was, going to overtake the fact that I just didn't think they made it scary enough. I think Halloween series should be the original. The original still gets me today. So there's my opinion on that.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, I guess we could kind of now dive into some of the characters, if you want.
Okay. There's quite a few that
there are
don't freaking belong in this movie. First off, the duo of the investigative and journalists, I believe they call themselves.
They said podcasting journalists.
Okay, whatever they said. They were in it for like a couple of minutes, and they literally, it set them up. It felt like it set them up at the beginning. They were going to be main characters. It felt like to me. And then all of a sudden, then they get killed off.
Well, they were a plot device to make so that Michael could get his mask back.
Okay, yeah,
that's all they were.
Yeah, I guess. Oh,
and I knew they weren't going to last long because from the trailer you saw the teeth part with her.
Yeah, I guess I didn't remember she was the one that was on the John, but yeah,
the Lou as she called it.
And then there was the douchey boyfriend.
Again, he was just a plot device.
Moron.
Because he had to throw her phone in the fucking pudding, so that's why she couldn't call anybody. That's
and
all
there
he was.
Damon,
No, let's not even. He doesn't even deserve that.
And then there was this kid, dude. Oh my god.
Her boyfriend. He was the douchiest character. And what happens to him? He just disappears.
Yeah, he freaking lives. I was like, what the hell? And then the kid that... Okay, led her...
To be fair, he wasn't great either.
Yeah, the kid that led her, okay... He was,
Laurie's granddaughter.
Yes.
Yeah, that's who
basically, hardcore friend zoning, you could tell from the beginning. Yeah. And he led her on a secret path, and, he decided to smooch her up a little bit, and... Well...
Thought there was a connection.
Let's just say there was a part where they were in a backyard and there was a motion light and he got freaked out by it, okay? And the part what actually kind of creeped me out, the only I should say, was when Michael was coming closer to him and the part when the light shut off and you could see his outline. The part was kind of creepy. I will give it that. Okay, and then he gets killed off. Mm-hmm. And then she sees him. She comes back for him and then sees Michael. Mm-hmm. And this ridiculous scream she lets out sounded so fake. I was like, what? For the first time I saw it, I didn't even realize. And the second time I saw it, I was like, what the hell was that? And then she runs off, like typical, knocks on the door.
No, you know what I immediately thought when I saw that part was, oh, hey, let's rehash the original Halloween again. Only somebody entered the door.
Oh, God, what else? God. The new Dr. Loomis. I don't remember what his name was.
No, that's literally what Laurie called him at one point.
Oh, okay, well, that's what I called him.
We can go with New Loomis.
The New Loomis. Okay, well.
Which is kind of an insult to Donald Pleasance.
So. He definitely had a fascination, obviously, from the beginning with Michael. You could tell, like, when they were at the, insane asylum, as I would call it, but it was, whatever it was. He was his client, or doctor, or whatever.
Well, he took over for Loomis.
Yeah.
So
and
the only thing I couldn't remember is how long he was with him.
It had been a little bit. But so they could become, quotation, familiar with each other, but not really. So he's absolutely obsessed. And he literally
helped plan
all this, and then he does killing himself so he can feel what it feels like to be Michael.
Which, that was a twist that I was just blown away with. No, they're really not doing this. And do you remember what his weapon was?
It was a little...
a pen that shot out a knife blade.
Yeah.
Where the fuck did he get that?
I forgot it was a pen, but I knew it was like a suture that shot out a knife blade. That's what it looked like. It was a pen.
And he kills the sheriff, who I also had a problem with, because he doesn't call for backup the whole time.
Yeah, he was another one that I just...
And on that same note, I don't remember what his title was, but he was the cop he was the black cop that had the cowboy hat.
Damon laughed at that every time.
No, I did too. Because this guy's wearing a cowboy hat.
Yeah. And he kind of had a little accent to him too.
But he has the dumbest reaction as a cop when he's told that this gigantic serial killer has broken loose. He's like, "Oh, well, what are we gonna do? Cancel Halloween?"
Yeah.
Yes, that's what you do. Yeah. And I don't even think he got his comeuppance, did he? I don't even remember.
Did he get killed?
I really don't remember if he did or not.
If he did, it didn't. I don't remember it. So,
then they do this twist with the new Dr. Loomis about when he kills him and he puts Michael's mask on,
and then the light shines on him and he's got his mask on, and I laugh so fucking hard because he just looks.
But again, this is now another harshback to something that this franchise has done. They introduce something new, and then what happens in a few minutes? He gets killed by Michael.
Splatted.
Yeah. Which was the most unrealistic and kind of funny death, because his head smashed too easily.
Yeah. It was his skull.
Yeah, it was his skull. And it just smushed like Play-Doh.
It looked like spaghetti to me. I was like, that looks pretty good. I had something. Okay. Then there was the part which I know Damon Anderson is most disappointed with, where there was a crying baby.
Let's not get into that.
I won't. But it was. I knew it wasn't going to happen. They weren't going to put that in the movie.
Yeah.
But there was a tease. It's all a baby tease. Okay, there. I'll say that.
Which I don't know if it kind of hinders or does anything to Michael as a character.
There was the Laurie's granddaughter's friends were annoying as hell to me. Mm-hmm. Then there was the kid they babysitted, or the chick babysitted. Mm-hmm. And he had some funny lines, I guess.
Well, again, with the characters, I don't know how you felt about this character, but I didn't really have a liking for it that much. And that was Laurie's daughter's, Judy Greer's husband, who was just there to say jokes.
Yeah.
And gets dispatched really easily at the end.
He gets his neck broken and killed, yes.
Mm-hmm. But that kind of then falls into the part that you mentioned about inconsistency, because the tone of this is just all over the place, and I don't want to force blame on who wrote this stuff, but Danny McBride was a writer on this, and he's a comedian.
He has that production company that was associated with. I forget what it's called. I don't remember. Go ahead.
But the thing that I also noticed that right before this movie fully started was that there was like 7 producers. I was like, oh shit. But again, it'll go from like supposed to be this scary, tense horror theme to then jokes. And just kills the tension and mood the whole time that happens. And the most like times that happens, like back to back, is the kid and the babysitter scene. Who I can admit that the little kid is funny, but it just ruins the tension of that scene with Michael. And then the biggest one that I had heard about, and I was like, is this really that bad? And does it feel that long? And it's when something horrific happens, and it cuts to two cops sitting in a car talking about fucking lunches and sandwiches.
Yeah, Brownie looked good, man.
That went on for 5 minutes, it felt.
Was it a peanut butter and jelly po' boy or something like that? Or I can't remember. They're talking about a sandwich.
Po' boy wasn't... No, it was a banh mi.
Banh mi. Yeah, okay.
It's only because I know sandwiches. But I was just sitting there going, why are we here in this cop car for so long? And that's only because they didn't pull up to those cop cars and they get killed.
They're staring at that car forever. Like,
oh my
is that
gosh.
our partner? I think they got killed, right?
Oh yeah, they did. Again, what was the point of...
Oh yeah, okay, I remember now, okay.
But, so, we've kind of I think we've kind of dispatched the more disposable characters. So, and we've talked about Laurie, so let's talk about some of the other great characters.
The granddaughter.
Granddaughter and the daughter of Laurie.
Mrs. Greer.
Judy Greer was on and off for me. She had a pretty good badass last moment. There, however, was a part where it felt...
I can't do it. Gotcha.
There, however, was a part where she goes into her childhood and her face looks like she's reading the script right there.
I think I noticed that. I believe it, though.
So, she was not terrible, but she didn't stand out. She at least had one good badass line. The granddaughter...
was beautiful.
Okay. My first initial thought was, are they saying that she's in high school? Because I'm kind of doubting it. And then I looked up her age and she was 22, so I'll let it slide. She's, as a character, she starts out actually not too bad. Because she shows compassion and she shows loyalty to Laurie. She's then given this horrible story with the fucking boyfriend that also culminates at a dance party, which, why the hell were we there so long? She then has the horrible alley scene that we talked about.
Oh, God. I wish I could actually play that scream for you guys because it's so bad.
And she kind of does have herself a little bit of a badass moment, but I wouldn't categorize it as badass.
I do have something to say about her.
Mm-hmm. And then she has a very weird part of the ending.
Yeah, so I was going to get to that. I have a feeling, this is just me, don't count this as a, exact, 100% me being right kind of a deal, but
this is his own speculation.
I think they're setting up for her to be the next killer. Because literally, obviously, the thing in her freaking hand, you saw the knife in her hand. I'm like, okay, well, that's...
Well, again, to the fact that you said that the other Halloweens are a blur to you.
Yeah, remind me.
That's kind of one of the endings of 4. Because what they do is they set up this character that is chased by Michael Myers. And at the end, she survives. And then for some reason, she kills her stepmother. And the ending is a cliffhanger of her becoming the next killer, but then she's not the next killer.
Well, and then she got like 2 jabs in on Michael.
And again, one of the biggest disappointments of this is this whole thing was set up to be like the final confrontation between Laurie and Michael, and that this would be the end. And it sets up a pretty nice way to kill him off, which also it's kind of a ripoff of the technical Halloween 2, the way that Loomis kills him. With fire and stuff, and the whole house is going up in blaze. And we then cut back to it, and he's not there.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. You never actually see him burning. So,
my question with that was, how the heck did he get out?
Hey, man, shape-shifting.
And then, if you stay for the end of the credits, as the end credits roll out, you start to hear his breathing. So he's obviously still alive.
We all kind of knew that, though.
I mean, I think we knew that, but some of us wanted to just kind of hope that, yes, this was the final, and this would be a good, send-off for Laurie and end this whole thing.
So now there's going to be a round 2, right?
Oh, yeah. There will be, because look at what this has already made. This is the best slasher opener of all time. And even its budget is relatively close to what the first one almost would be at this time. Is there any more positives?
Well, like I said, some of the effects that they had as far as like the deaths go, what was it, like a auto part place or whatever,
gas station,
whatever it was. They had I think half of it was a gas station, half of it was like an auto parts place.
Yeah.
They're fixing cars or whatever. I guess it was actually the guy he got the teeth from. His mouth was like half cocked to the left, and the other one, half of it was to the right. That was pretty cool. Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, and but also that does kind of make me wonder now, why does Michael take out the teeth? Does he want to make a necklace? Like the guy from Jurassic World 2. Well, he had a way funnier death.
It needs to be shark teeth instead of human teeth, though.
Yeah.
I'll read you a little snippet.
Of what?
It's just a consensus of everybody.
On what platform? To just let everybody else know.
It's on Rotten.
On Rotten Tomatoes. This is what the...
It just says, I mean, taking into account what I said earlier about, the disappointing sequels. Halloween largely wipes the slate clean after decades of disappointing sequels, ignoring increasingly elaborate mythology in favor of basic yet still effective ingredients. Yet it's still at 74.
Yeah, well, see, there's the thing. It's claiming that it's, discarding everything that has come before it, when they clearly make references to everything that has already happened. Like how you pointed out with the granddaughter, and with Halloween 4 ending the basic recreation, or this is basically a reboot of Halloween. And I really hate this title. Why is it called Halloween?
Yeah, I didn't like that.
Because now there's 3 movies that are technically called that. There's Halloween, then there's Rob Zombie's Halloween, and then there's...
Chris Stuckman and Jeremy Johns both said that, so...
Yeah. This, I think, probably should have been like Halloween Returns.
Well, just something. I mean, like, doesn't even have to be Halloween. Just make it, it could have been something. I feel like there's been like 4 different Halloween titles, and it's just...
Halloween, though, is the brand name that would bring people in, is what they figured.
Yeah, I guess. Or just maybe Halloween Stabbing in the Dark. How about that? Cool. All right.
Yes, and because we always have to work in a nice 9 plug.
Yeah.
So, as far as how I feel about this comparing to the original and sequels, the original still tops this. I don't care if some people just look at it as, that it's a typical slasher film that has the tropes. It actually set the tropes. And when I rewatched it, Michael and Laurie's confrontation doesn't happen until like the last 13 minutes. So it's building the tension and the atmosphere, which is why it works so great. Surprisingly, I think Halloween Technical 2 and Halloween H2O probably have more satisfying endings. Because the second one was supposed to be the end of Michael Myers, so you can kind of contribute it that way. H2O's gets unresolved because of Resurrection, because of that piece of shit. That was the one that also had Busta Rhymes, if you didn't remember.
Oh, I remember. I didn't want to remember. But I remember.
Well, why not? He's actually the most memorable thing in it.
Well, I think as far as the movie goes.
But also that I just kind of realized with the style that this is kind of filmed wise and shot and edited. If you were not ever a fan of the Rob Zombie films and the way that their style was, if you come out praising the way that this looks, it's really close to how those looked. Like that kind of in your face without like a lot of nice looking, maybe a little bit nicer looking, but it just had that feeling to me as far as when I was watching it. I surprisingly still would say that my personal second favorite is Halloween 3 because it's different and it has a much better atmosphere and some actual cool deaths.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is probably my second favorite.
You're entitled to that.
Yeah. Yeah. It just shows you, again, the word I'm going to come up with, inconsistency. There you go.
And I think maybe 3 for me is maybe Rob Zombie's Halloween. I at least liked McDowell and the backstory they try to give him. Is there any hope for the possible sequel now? Well, not possible, but definite sequel.
Money. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to hear about the way this one's gonna go. If they're gonna try to make the granddaughter the killer,
which is what I'm calling.
Why?
I mean, it'll be further down the road. I don't think it'll be the next movie. But I don't know. You never know.
But so I'm gonna give Halloween 2018 I was gonna say C-, but you know what? It disappointed me so hard and the decisions it made. I'm gonna say D+.
Oh, man!
I'm not gonna get this on Blu-ray. I have no desire to watch it again, and that's just a disappointment to me. D for disappointment.
Yeah, I mean, I really can't argue with you on that. Such a big movie, and it's,
If this did not have the Halloween name, it would just be a generic slasher film.
Man.
And I've seen too many of these generic slasher films so far this year. It's kind of a genre I'm leaning towards going away.
I'm gonna stay in a little shit.
that bad is really hitting you, isn't it?
Man, I'm leaning towards agreeing with you, but I'm gonna give it a C-. And why, I don't know.
Are you gonna buy it?
That's 50-50. That's gonna be that may be based on a coin flip, but I do have the original, and that may be.
It's $30. Flip the coin.
Oh no, I ain't paying $30 for it. I'll tell you that fucking right now. It's got to be in the teen,
the bargain bin,
18 to 20 range, maybe lower than that. But to be honest, the original may be the only one I ever actually have, and I do have it. So I don't know. I hope the future of their franchise isn't building on this, because if it is, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I'm happy that it's making money, as a franchise, but
this is also nothing new as far as franchise. It's just the same thing over and over again.
I mean, shit. I enjoyed going off topic of Tad. There's an episode of The Goldberg this week, and I enjoyed seeing Robert Englund reprise the role of Freddy Krueger more than I did watching the Halloween movies. So there's that.
That was also a franchise that we almost saw restarted.
Oh man. And then there's my franchise.
And yeah, well, the Freddy franchise and your franchise are the ones I've not really seen all the way through, so I can't judge it. And because the Mr. Master of Horror and this being his franchise is not here, Mr. Russell, what would you guess his grade of this is? Not that we're gonna make fun of you now, Russ.
I'm gonna say I know he really liked it, so
but you want to hope he didn't like this more than the original.
Oh, he's got freaking serious mother effing issues if he likes it better than the original. But I'm gonna say A minus, somewhere in there
for this one.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's just
But because you didn't do it, and if you want to give your grading for the original, A plus.
Yeah, that's
which one?
Between that and the original Friday the 13th, those are the two that jump out to me the most, and I'd probably give them both A pluses.
I'm a little bit different there. The first Friday I have seen, and I'm not as a giant fan of it.
I love the first one. That's the original.
I can't remember if I graded it in the Halloween special, but I'm going to give the original Halloween an A. Just because there are some minor nitpicks. But the biggest nitpick for me is the actress that played Annie I did not like. She was really bad. And probably the minutest of nitpicks for that. I don't know if you have noticed this, but now on repeating viewings, I have now noticed in a scene where you can see palm trees. It's filmed in California, not in Illinois. But that's a minor nitpick. So, yeah, it's been Halloween 2018. Just another line of disappointing horror films this year. We've had two tremendous ones. I really don't think another one has stood out other than Hereditary and Quiet Place. I really honestly can't remember another one this year. Which is so frustrating and funny to me that two of my favorite films this year are horror-based. And then just a slew of shit in that same genre. So yeah, guys, we just decided to dedicate a whole episode to talk about this because it was important.
I think 2019 is probably going to be pretty good, or setting up pretty good, if I remember right, for horror. So.
Now, are you just saying that because of it?
Maybe.
You're going to put all your cards on it for the rest of the year?
And Us.
Is that officially coming out next year?
Mm-hmm. I think Us is definitely like a horror thriller.
Okay, so. But, again, that's two. We have two right now.
Well, it's like, I don't think it's going to be, 2018 might be the worst year for horror, so.
Well, and I remember we had high hopes that this whole year overall was going to be better than last year, and we have been, I think, significantly wrong
overall this year. Like not just horror. I think I've been disappointed in movies in general this year.
I was looking through and I'm like, wow, I have definitely not bought as many as I have since last year. I think it's like this year, at this point last year, I had like 12.
God damn.
Yeah, it was strong. So yeah, guys, hope you've enjoyed our discussion about Halloween. Sorry, but we did mention that this was spoiler-filled. I'm pretty sure you have seen it if you are a fan, because this has made a lot of money. Mr. Knickers Chicken, thank you as normal for joining on this.
My pleasure.
If you would like to plug where they can find you on social media and any final words of wisdom or words of Knickerishism.
Yeah, you can find me Facebook, Nick Wood, Instagram, Knickers_chicken87, Twitter, Knickers Chicken. Well, we got a couple movies coming up these last couple months, so maybe, we'll get a little bit of a lift.
Yeah.
You got...
We technically, since Halloween is on a Wednesday, we can technically have one more week of Halloween-themed stuff to close that out.
You got Creed, Bohemian Rhapsody, Fantastic Beasts, what else? There's another one in November, I believe.
There's going to be a number of ones in November and December that are going to be high profile.
And there's of course, Aquaman. That's in December.
Who would have thought DC was putting all their chips down on Aquaman now?
To end the year off. But maybe that'll be the reigniting of DC.
Uh-huh. Thank you for that. Words of wisdom from Nick. You can find me on Facebook at Ian Novak, on Twitter at GaiaLoco89, and on Stardust app if you would like to see my 30-second reactions to movies. It's Crazy Rooster 89. Well, your favorite month of your favorite season of movies is coming to an end. One word, real quick, your overall impression.
Inconsistent. But hey, gaming's been good this month. That's all I'll say.
You're loving the gaming.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I apologize. Usually I'm horror movie frantically every day in October, but gaming has been crazy in October. Like, literally everything's come out at the same time. So,
well, I blame the gaming community for the gaming companies for that.
Me too, damn it. There's still Spyro. Come on, man.
Yep. As always, guys, keep going to the movies. We'll be back next week to close out the Halloween theme. This year ends so quick.
Yep.
See you guys.
Later.
It's time.